I'm going to need Samsung to come on in, take a knee, and listen for a minute here. The Samsung Black Friday deals are live. It's not really a deal per se. There's nothing off the sticker price. Unless you use my link in the description, you do get a free upgrade through that link that is not available through the site just regularly. If you click on the link, you'll get the free storage upgrade to 512 gigabytes. So save yourself $120 there. Basically, the promotion for Black Friday is the enhanced trade-in offers are back. So if you have a Fold 3, they'll offer you $1,000 on it. If you have a Fold 2, they'll offer you $800 on it. So it really comes into play when you're talking about upgrading from a previous Samsung device. That's when it really kicks in, where you'll want to take advantage of the Black Friday offerings. But I want to talk a bit about this device here, because the time of Samsung getting away with these minor upgrades to the Fold series are most certainly over. I still think that pound for pound, the Fold 5 is the best foldable in the United States. It just is the most well-rounded. When you talk about software, when you talk about the build quality, all the capabilities that it has, I really like what the Fold 5 has to offer. However, the competition is not as far behind as it used to be. Meaning, there's actual competition in the United States now when it comes to Fold. The Pixel Fold 2 will certainly be a departure from what Google released. If you're to believe the rumors, they're going to take a big swing at changing that device next year. And then you have the OnePlus Open, which is not a first-generation device. It's a third-generation device with the Oppo Find N3. It's very similar to that phone. So I guess you could say OnePlus has had a little bit of a head start with that stuff. But it's still, I think, the next iteration of this phone will be able to top this, unless Samsung takes some drastic measures. They do need to change the build of this device. Need to make the front screen a little bit wider. The one thing that the OnePlus Open did was kind of plow the road for Samsung and make it so the company could see, hey, look, we can actually widen that outer display a little bit, make the device a little thinner, a couple of other creature comforts, quality of life things that would significantly impact this device, and people won't feel alienated. Previous Fold users won't feel like this is a completely different phone. I don't want to buy this anymore. I am a Fold 5 lover, and I picked up the Open, and it was like nothing. I didn't skip a beat. Kept going, felt great, loved how light and thin this device is, but still felt sturdy. There's things that you can learn from there. The anti-glare display, definitely a benefit. I remember the first time I picked up a Fold 2 outdoors, and it was during the pandemic and stuff, so, didn't have a lot of opportunity to be out. But I picked it up, opened it up, saw the basically potpourri of the smudges, fingerprints, and then that glare from the sunlight hit, and it was just too much. So just eliminating, you're not going to get rid of, on these type of displays, the material that they use, you're not going to get rid of the smudges and the fingerprints. However, you can limit the damage by putting an anti-glare display on there, or anti-glare film, making it a little easier to see outdoors. The other thing is multitasking. While I give the clear software advantage to One UI and Samsung, their multitasking, if you break it down to a very specific element, multitasking is lagging behind the OnePlus Open. Open Canvas is the way that foldables should be doing multitasking from here on out. And it's been a little while since Samsung's had to play catch up here in the United States, especially on the software side. Their experience with One UI 5.1 right now, it's going to be on the November patch when I download it. Really smooth. One UI 6 is coming out. Good changes there. I like some of the aesthetic stuff that they've done with One UI 6, so no problems with that. Super smooth, silky, excellent performance, all of that stuff that you'd want to have in a software package. Significantly better, I think, on the whole, just using it than what OnePlus offers with Oxygen OS. Oxygen OS, to me, just has too many kind of hiccups and this and that, kind of weird things about it that just nothing like that on the buttery smooth Samsung. So that's where I think a lot of the advantage really comes into play, because build-wise, design-wise, I like a lot of what the OnePlus Open provides, but build quality-wise and software-wise, I like this. Now, a lot of people retort, they say, well, The Fold 5 could do multitasking. 3 apps on open canvas. How about 4? Yeah, okay, 4. What are you doing? Where are you going to have them? Here and up. You're going to have one here, one here, one here. That's not, I don't know, and then a floating app for 5. That's not multitasking. I don't know what that is. That's a tech demo. That's not anything that you'd actually sit there and enjoy doing. You're going to sit there and say, oh, there's Twitter up here, and there's Instagram. I'm going to write an email down in this little corner over here, and I'm going to have a YouTube video floating over there. Come on. What are we talking about? Open Canvas, just being able to fly between different apps and having a good aspect ratio on each of them is the way to go. You could glean information from one side of it, write an email on the other, and not feel hindered at all. It's okay. No one's saying that Samsung has to be the king of everything all the time. Sometimes it's good to get beat in a category like multitasking. Let's see what their response is coming up with either next year's device or feature drops on One UI. Perhaps they could come up with something even better. Maybe they could do 4 or 5. They could have them juggling back and forth. You could have a carousel like Moto back in the day with the Photon, if you're old enough to remember those devices. I think it was them with the carousel where you fly it around and you pick on the one you want. Those old UIs that were graphical nightmares. But that was the idea. Maybe they could come up with something that bests Open Canvas. The idea is they have to try. The idea is the days of just Samsung giving us kind of more of the same and saying, well, we're the leaders. It's the best, so deal with it, are over. Because I'm telling you, if they sit there for another year and give us kind of the same old on the Fold 6 with the same software experience and the same relative form factor, and they don't make it any thinner, and they don't give us the wider outer display, and all these things are going to add up to the next generation Open and the next generation Pixel Fold 2 eating Samsung's lunch. And I think they're smart enough to realize that. I think they're smart enough to understand that the game is kind of up there. Because the rumors that you're seeing are significant departures, where you're going to have the pen in the device, the S Pen inside the Fold. You're going to have that larger outer display, like some of those Vivo devices, like the X Fold, where it's a huge outer display, and it's like 2 phones sandwiched into one, and then you open it up to one huge inner display. That might be interesting. You know, it might fail, it might work. Some people might complain, saying it's too big. A lot of people like the size of the Fold 5, and I agree. But here's the deal. The extra 0.1, it's literally 1/10 of an inch extra on the outer display for the OnePlus Open. Makes a significant difference. However, that 0.2 inches that it adds on the inside doesn't break the experience. It doesn't turn it from the Fold 5, which I think is a very handy device. It's pocketable, and you could use it one-handed. It doesn't make this kind of a ridiculous phone that you wouldn't want to use one-handed. I still have kind of the same experience on these devices, despite it being just a little bit larger. And that experience is the best of both worlds. I don't like the Pixel Fold going completely the other way and going completely landscape dominant. Look at the glare on that thing. Going completely landscape dominant. I don't like that. I like the fact that you can get a little bit of both on these devices, but I think Samsung can give this a little bit more while still maintaining what they want to do. They do that with the build quality, with the software, they're going to maintain their lead, but they have work to do. Remember, use those links in the description. It does help the channel. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.